Florence sees how the plague has swept through Venice and the north of Italy, and it girds itself. It closes its gates. It sends soldiers on along all the roads, so nobody may pass and come into the city. Meanwhile, one of the richest men in Venice has a villa richest man in Florence has a villa many miles away, and he gathers many of his friends together, and they go to his villa, which is gated, surrounded by forests. His friends, one of his sons is a cardinal, that's how wealthy you know he is. His wife is the daughter of a duke, and they come together to feast and dance because they believe they are safe from the plague. Well, the plague does reach Florence, and they have very strict rules. No one may leave their house if they are sick. They actually bring food to, the city council brings food to people. But meanwhile, where they are feasting and dancing, death has come in. Some say it came as a bird. Some say maybe it was one of the guests who had died and death had taken over his soul and his body. But death came into that villa, and as they danced, death, one by one, went to each person and partnered them. Partnered them as a woman, partnered them as a man. Death came up to them and said, "May I have your hand for this dance?" And then would give them a kiss on the cheek. Death would come to each one, slowly by slowly. The 100 guests started to not feel well. They went to their rooms and never came back to the dance floor or to the feasting hall. Slowly, one by one. And then the rich man who owned this house realized it was only that everyone had disappeared. He was so in his cups he didn't notice these things. Sound like anybody we know? Slowly, they disappeared. And he was the last one. And he saw death looking at him with its own face. And he said, "There is no escaping, is there?" And death just shook its head. And he died. Well, the plague finally passed for this moment. And into the hills went some of the notables from Florence to find out, to let them know that the plague had passed. And they came, and it was all silence. There was not a sound of a bird. There was not a bunny rabbit. There was not a deer in the woods. And they opened the doors, and they saw the wealthy gentleman at the head of the table, a rotted corpse. And then they went from room to room, and all 100 of these noble citizens of Florence were rotting corpses. And all the retainers they had brought them with them were dead in the kitchens or the stables. So you cannot escape the plague, no matter whether you think you can or not. Everybody dances with death.